refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncers' guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. And we're here with Derby's finest. He's got the shirt on, Mr. Sam Jones. Sam, how's things this Sunday morning, mate?
It's a big day for Derby today, Andrew. So if Derby lose today, delete this interview or just kind of, I'm going to the game, but you have to kind of just like scribble it out or something now.
No, listen, support them, win, lose or draw, mate. That's the main thing.
Mate, they're in League One, mate, of course.
Well, let's just go straight to it, big man. I don't know if you stayed up, if you're as old like me, you go to bed and then wake up the next morning to watch the big fights. But yeah, John Ryder, what a set of balls that man's got, man. Great performance against Canelo, but Canelo's just proving why he's pound for pound.
Do you know what, Andrew? I wasn't scheduled. I didn't set my alarm to work because I was very tired. My little boy's not been very well, so I thought, I need to get to sleep. But I woke up and I watched it from I think round 2, and mate, John Ryder, probably I'd say it's the best attempt by a Brit. I know it's consolation. I know nobody wants a consolation, but I think there's going into the Lions Den in Vegas to fight Canelo, but going into the Lions Den in Guadalajara with all them people booing you, coming into the ring, John Ryder needs a hell of a lot of credit. And Tony Sims does as well, because I thought he was excellent in the corner. He's very calm. And he does get his props, but I think he's a very underrated trainer still, Tony Sims. I think he's a fantastic trainer. And and I hope John Ryder, I want to see him win a world title. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to see him win a world title before he retires. But I thought, no, he gave an amazing account of himself against an all-time great in Canelo.
Just elaborating on what you said there, Canelo actually said that as well, that John Ryder's the best of the 8 Brits that he's faced as well. So, obviously, it is a consolation prize going 12 rounds with Canelo, but you still lost the fight, like you say. But it was a gutsy performance with the broken nose, the early knockdown.
Yeah,
but he was banging his chest like the gorilla he is, and then, do you know what I mean? He was fighting. That's what the Mexican fans love. I've seen it with Liam Smith and even Josh Taylor against Ramirez. If you put up a fight against a Mexican fighter and show them that you go out on your shield,
they'll love you.
Yeah, and I think that's what John Ryder did last night.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't ask any more of John Ryder from yesterday. Broke his nose as well for the first time in his career. I just think he needs all the credit in the world, and hopefully he gets another big fight off the back of it, because he looks like he's got plenty left in the tank for me.
It's going to be hard for him. You mentioned the world title for John Ryder, though, but with Canelo having all the belts at 168, you're going to have to vacate all them first.
Yeah, because Canelo do whatever he wants, won't he? Like, I'm sure Canelo won't be fighting many managers. I think Canelo's got his eyes set on Bivol, and then hopefully you'll fight someone like Benavidez in Cinco de Mayo next year. That's what I would like to see anyway.
Right, Bivol though. Bivol said he wants to come down to 168 for the undisputed, but then Canelo said that no. Same as everything as the first fight.
Yeah, because he knows that he won't get the credit for beating him if he beats him, if Bivol gets down to that weight. But listen, in my opinion, that's Canelo's best chance of beating him if he comes down to 68. So I don't know. I suppose it's up to Canelo, really. If Bivol's saying that he wants to do that, then I'd oblige.
Exactly. But money talks. But is there enough money in boxing? Because Canelo's obviously came out and said in that post-fight press conference as well that he basically shut down the Benavidez fight. He said he doesn't want to fight another Mexican. But as a selfish boxing fan, you know when 2 Mexicans go at it, it's nothing but a war, fan-friendly. Everyone's up on this, out their seats watching it.
That's the fight I want to. That's the fight I want to see for Canelo. I want to see 2 Mexicans going in there and having it. It'll be a fantastic spectacle between Benavidez. I think their styles will gel incredibly well as well. Because I mean, Benavidez comes to fight, Canelo does as well. You're going to get a fantastic fight there.
Sam, can you see it happening? Obviously, why do you think Canelo was saying that he doesn't want to fight another Mexican? Obviously, he's a proud Mexican. You see the way he he represents his country and the fans of Mexico. So why do you think Canelo doesn't want to fight another Mexican and somebody like Benavidez?
I'm not going to say because Canelo doesn't like fancy the fight, because it's very hard to tell. Because listen, Canelo, look at his career. He fights everybody. He does fight everybody. I think he probably feels that Benavidez is this young guy coming up. He's strong. He's done everything else, and he's a handful, Benavidez. And Canelo's probably thinking Benavidez is coming like into his prime years. Canelo's arguably just on the decline, and he's thinking, why should I give you that opportunity when you've not really boxed anybody? Obviously, his last fight against Caleb Plant, he done very well, but other than that, not really, nowhere near to the level that Canelo has. And Canelo's probably thinking, sorry, what I was saying is that's probably the reason why he's probably thinking that you're coming into your prime years. I'm kind of, I think, not that I think Canelo thinks he's in the decline, because I'm sure he doesn't, but I think he doesn't really want to probably give him that opportunity. It's a risk, Canelo.
And to lose against another Mexican, and
that's what I mean. It's unthinkable. Yeah. It's unthinkable for Canelo to lose against another Mexican. Listen, I don't know Canelo. I've never met the guy, so I don't know how his thought process is. But he's clear. Listen, Canelo's never ducked anybody, and it's hard to say he's doing that. But I think he's probably thinking there's different routes he can go in his career than fighting David Benavidez.
Definitely, and I mean, Canelo is a superstar in his own right, and he says as well that he's got many years left in boxing, but how many more big fights is there out there for him? In the Bivol rematch, who else is out there for him?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's cleaned up 168. Is he too small for 175? It's one of them tough questions that he wants to stay in boxing for a long time, but who's left to fight other than Benavidez?
Yeah. That's what I mean, and the fans will push him for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure the Mexican fans will demand it as well, and it's going to be hard for him to sit out. Who knows, Andrew? Let's see what happens. I know Canelo will probably have to go over there to fight Benavidez as well, because PBC don't really work with Eddie, do they? Don't really get on. So I don't know. Let's see, Andy. But let's hope so, because we just want all these big fights to happen, don't we?
Well, let's talk about the big fights. Well, there's not a big fight yet, but it's probably one that you've got a keen eye on. I just want to get your reaction, first of all, to RYDER PROGRAIS, the WBC 140-pound champion, signing a match for him. Your thoughts to that?
I know Regis. I knew Regis pretty well. He's a great guy. He's an incredible fighter. And I'm really happy for him, if I'm honest. I'm that he's going to have a home. He's going to get promoted, and I think it's fantastic. But Jack Catterall, we want that fight. We want that fight, Andy. So I've made it very clear to Eddie, and Jack made it very clear to me. That's the fight he wants. He's got a job to do with Daryl Foley, who's a very game fighter coming off a big win. But then after that, mate, we want RYDER PROGRAIS.
But Regis has a tough fight as well against Paro on the June 17th.
Yeah, absolutely. So. There's no overlooking anything, but I think Regis is on fire at the moment. So I expect him to come out of that fight.
Where would Jack want it? Obviously, Jack, he's sparred Canelo. I remember years and years ago, he sparred Canelo and he sparred Floyd Mayweather. He's been all over the US. I don't think he's fought in the US, has he, Jack?
No, he's not fought in the US.
So would that be a dream come true for Jack? You know him very well, Jack. Would that be a dream come true for him to fight somebody like PROGRAIS for the world title?
I think we prefer it in Manchester. But no, like, listen, Jack's one of them people, Andy, that when I say this, he will fight. He wants to fight all of the big names, or everyone. I mean, look, there's the Taylor rematch that's always going to be there. The Teofimo Lopez, whoever wins that fight. There's Devin Haney coming back to 140. Lopez is a free agent after this. So it's the 140 division's incredible, mate. Ryan Garcia's coming up. Jack will fight him in a heartbeat. So there's some great fights to be made.
For Jack, though, Dara Foley, it's been over a year for him since he's fought now, I think, is it? It's been well over a year.
Yeah, well over a year now.
Yeah, obviously Jack's had a rough time of it. Before the Josh Taylor fight, it was a year or so. So he's only had like maybe one 12-round fight in the best part of 2.5 years. So you can't take his eye off the ball against somebody like Dara Foley.
No, mate, absolutely not, absolutely not. That's the sole focus. Because look, you don't get through him, then there's no big fight. So he's got to do it, and he's got to look good as well, which I'm certain he will. I know he's flying in the gym, so really looking forward to that fight, Andy.
Definitely. Well, Sam, let's just a hard segue left, and I just want you to clarify something. I'm going to read a tweet of yours. All right, if you can just clarify what you mean by it. If you're a wrestling fan, you'd probably know what Sam's talking about, but if you're not, then Sam's going to clarify it for you. This is Sam's tweet. Eddie is like Vince McMahon back in Monday Night Wars. Everyone was concerned when he allowed a few established stars to leave to go to the WCW. Are you comparing Eddie Hearn to Vince McMahon?
And shalom to Eric Bischoff, which is a great comparison, by the way. Eric Bischoff's a fantastic operator. I think, listen, the reason behind that, and the reason why I think so many people were agreeing, because listen, back in the day, in 1996, 97, WCW had a big pot of money. Yeah, it was run by a guy called Ted Turner. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he gave Eric Bischoff like an open checkbook to sign who he wanted, basically. And Vince McMahon at this point is, I'm sure, I don't know whether he's a billionaire, but he's got plenty of money still. And these wrestlers are kind of going up to Vince and saying, look, this is what I'm being offered. Can you match it? And Vince is like, he can match it, but he doesn't. He's thinking, listen, if you're being offered that, kind of go over there. And that's what I kind of think's happened in this sense. I kind of think that if Eddie put his arm around a Boaxi, put his arm around the Codys, the Billum Smiths of the world, and kind of said, look, this is what we're going to do, I believe they would have all stayed with Eddie. But Eddie's not strategically let them go. I just think that Eddie's kind of thought, listen, if that's what you want to do, and like we're not prepared to offer you the same money as WCW over there. So no, listen, it's a great competitive market. I think Scott, listen, I think Ben's doing a good job. I think he's doing a good job. I think his matchmaking needs to be better for these established fighters. I mean, listen, the prospects like Adam Azim, even though he's had a good, fantastic amateur career, he's still a young kid. So I'm happy to watch him keep having these tests that he's having. But someone like Ben Whittaker should not be fighting, what's his name, Joe Grant. He just shouldn't. Jordan Grant. Yeah. Jordan Grant. He just shouldn't be in the ring with him. And that's no disrespect to Jordan Grant, but because he's game as a badger, by the way, and fair credit to him. But you can't be fighting your next Tommy Fury opponents, Andy, prime time on Sky. Like you can't be doing that, in my personal opinion. Not when you're as good as Ben Whittaker, because Ben Whittaker is mustard of a fighter. So I think the matchmaking is better. The Fraser Clark matchmaking's been poor. Ben Whittaker's matchmaking poor. He's got to be better. I mean, the guy that Boaxi boxed yesterday, if Boaxi would have blitzed him in 3 rounds, he still wouldn't have got any credit, because no one knows who that Polish man is. Mm-hmm. Boaxi is 30 years old. I know he's been out the ring, but mate, you're 30 years old, and like you've just coming off a great win against a fantastic fighter in Craig Richards. Crack on, push on, and you're fighting Stepien. Yeah. I'm not interested in it, Andrew. I watched it yesterday, and I felt sorry for him, to be perfectly honest with you, like I did with Okoli. Because, listen, I've got a load of time for Okoli. I would say Okoli's a mate of mine. So I felt sorry for Okoli, but I felt sorry for Boaxi because people were leaving the crowd. And Boaxi's better than what the performance he showed yesterday. But, mate, the opponent, he has to be big fights. If he's gone over there and he's fighting Dan Aziz, that's a fight people will get behind. So go over there and fight Dan Aziz, and then let's see the Anthony Yard fight. Because listen, there's one thing about Anthony Yard. Anthony Yard has boxed a few, with the greatest of respect, below par opponents. But when Yard has been asked to step up, he's gone into the Lions Den in Russia and fought Kovalev. Mm-hmm. He's then gone and fought Beterbiev. So no one can accuse Anthony Yard of shirking a challenge, because he doesn't shirk a challenge. So we need to see that same with Boaxi, in my opinion. And I say this as a fan, not as someone that's being critical. I'm just saying that's what we fans need to see with Boaxi.
I think when you're talking about especially the light heavyweight division in the UK, with obviously Ben Whittaker coming up, you mentioned you mentioned Boatsi and Dan Aziz and Yard, but you've still got the guys like Lyndon Arthur there. It's a great division here domestically. There's some great fights. So if all these guys can fight each other again, maybe in trilogies,
Andy, that's what it is. But it's like with Fraser Clark, someone like Fraser Clark's good enough to operate like he should be at this. He shouldn't be boxing the guys he's boxed, Fraser Clark. And as I say, Ben Whittaker yesterday should have boxed in Birmingham against Ricky Summers. That should have been the fight for Ben Whittaker. No disrespect to Ricky Summers, because again, very game, good fighter. But Ben Whittaker's, it was just a pointless exercise yesterday. I love Ben Whittaker, massive fan of Ben. Massive fan of Ben. Can go all of the way and beyond. You know what I mean? He's got superstar written all over him, but no, you shouldn't be in the ring with somebody like Jordan Grant.
I mean, Ben Whittaker has got that style, though, hasn't he? I mean, he does get a lot of stick online for the dancing.
Yeah, but people watch him, Andy. People watch him. People are going to watch him regardless. Like, I mean, yesterday I tweeted this as well. No matter what happens going forward in this show is about Ben Whittaker. And that's just like, if anything, Ben Whittaker kind of took the heat off Boatsi's performance a little bit, because people are still talking about Ben Whittaker. He's the one getting all of the views. So he kind of took the heat off Boatsi's performance a little bit.
I mean, I mean, that was boxing's boxing. You've been in the game long enough, but you've got your fighters, some of the fighters that you work with. I've got some big fights lining up, so it's going to be a busy finish to this 2023 for yourself, Sam.
Yeah, mate. Listen, there's a lot. I'm doing a lot of stuff now, mate. I'm enjoying it. As I say, I'm blessed to be working with somebody like Jack Catterall, because genuinely, you couldn't meet a nicer, more genuine human being than him. And he deserves what he's going to get out of boxing. He's going to go. He's going to get what's coming to him, Jack, very, very soon, because he should already be world champion. But we won't go there, Andy. We won't go there. But he's gonna be collecting some belts this year.
Good stuff. Proud. Listen, and what I will say, Sam, it's Sunday morning. Your Rams are taking on Wednesday this afternoon. So good luck with that, brother. Listen, if they win, I'll give you a wee text, a wee thumbs up, mate. All right.
Thank you very much, Andy. Take care, my friend.
Enjoy your Sunday, Sam. See you later, mate.
Bye-bye, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,